Erase skills can be very useful. They can get rid of troubling moves your opponent has, cripple them, or even finish them off. They can also get rid of environmentals that give you trouble. They get rid of stat buffs that give you trouble. They can get rid of shields that your opponent has that give you trouble. And they can even get rid of other skills in your hand that could be trouble for you. You can use Orb and Amulet to protect against erase. Any purple moves used by others will not affect you if you have these moves equipped and can pay their automatic cost. They can also help you keep your boosted abilities like speed and strength buffs. If these moves can be paid for and aren't exhausted, erase skills won't be able to harm you. However, Orb and Amulet cannot protect you from capsule erasing skills like Violent Change. One way that you can fight erase is to use an erase skill called Turbulence, which automatically removes erase skills from people's hands. You can also use the skills Recall and Relearn together to return more of your capsules to your arsenal to reuse. You can't get any capsules that were erased from the field back, but just recalling what you can will help you get your capsule count back up. If you see your opponent with yellow skills equipped, try to see if you can figure out what it is. Is it a dash or a dazzle maybe? If you can't figure it out, you may want to delay using single-use erase moves on your opponent like Vicious Balance. You could try waiting till they use up all their aura and can't use their orb as one way of trying to erase your opponent. Another way to sniff out your opponent is you can use erase skills like Judgment, which is a hit all erase move. It automatically targets people, and even if your opponent doesn't have an environmental out, if you do Judgment, you'll see that orb automatically sets itself off when you do Judgment. So if we see our opponent drop into aura every time we do Judgment, we know they have an orb. If they have an amulet equipped, you'll only see it cost 1, and once we know that, we could just use Crush, and that would exhaust the use of your opponent's amulet. Another way you can erase your opponent when they have orb is if you freeze their buttons somehow. Here we block with Glacial Wall, and we follow up with our Vicious Balance to bring her down to 2. Even though she has orb equipped, it doesn't work when her buttons are frozen. Other moves that you could look at to exhaust Amulet would be things like Neutralization, Hungry Demon, Purify, anything that you can hit them with enough times. Even if it's for no reason, it sets off the amulet and you could exhaust it and then follow up with something like a Vicious Balance. In the offline mode of Phantom Dust, Orb and Amulet do not protect environmentals, but online, if you have Orb or Amulet equipped and someone uses something like Judgment, you'll protect your environmental. One way to get around Orb, like with Judgment, is to exhaust your opponent's aura. So if I do Judgment once and I do it again, you'll see that the second one came out and they weren't able to prevent it. You can also try using the skill Greedy Spirit against someone with an Orb or an Amulet. Greedy Spirit reduces a target's aura to 0 temporarily. It has a very brief stun effect, and if you time it right, you can get around your opponent's orb, but the timing is really hard. You can see that we successfully erased her there. It can be very difficult for this trick to work against Amulet users. Like you can see, I shot the greedy spirit and I anticipated it would hit, and it still wasn't fast enough to stop her amulet from protecting her. It works better against orb users and opponents that use arsenal cases with slower aura regen rates are more likely to get caught by these kind of greedy spirit traps. The arsenal that Freya is using is a 2-school arsenal. Let's see if we can time it perfectly. Alright, I'm gonna shoot and then I'm gonna do vicious balance right away to see if we can get that to work on her. Oh, we got her. But that was extremely difficult. You're almost better off having a partner do the greedy spirit and you doing the vicious balance. But again, the timing's really hard against Amulet. Fortunately, you can use other moves to try and exhaust Amulet.